Hey guys, this is Cody Jones with Jangus Genetics LLC. Just came out. We're getting a new load of cows today, 30 cow-calf pairs, I think. What he's got on the trailer headed in. So I was just double checking my electric fence, and I got out the Gallagher Fault Finder, and I turned on some new fence over here, and I'll walk you through what we found. There's a cutoff switch right over here on this post, and this is a new set of fence. I'm not going to turn them out into here until this afternoon, but we got them tight so that the cows can find the calves. And I don't like to ever turn them out onto a big pasture. And I like to have a pretty solid fence when you go to drop them off. That helps them find each other instead of trying to go 80 miles back home, which is, you know, a problem. And making sure they're paired up is really important too. The cattle owner said he was going to do that before he brought them. He kept them all together for a couple days with some other across the fence for some other cows that had pairs, just to make sure nothing was balling, nothing was mismatched. So anyway, I turned on that cutoff switch and I tested my fence over here with the fault finder, and it was reading 103. And I just walked the whole thing to make sure it was good on this little lot before I turn on the cutoff. So what you're going to do is you're going to stick your switch into the ground, not into the anthill. They'll bite. And I tested it over there, and it was reading like, I don't know, 130 amps. So I knew it was off. So I came over here to the other side, and what we found is it's popping on this fence right there. And after a little while, it's harder to see, and I'm not going to kick it. I don't have a post to push on it, but it's shorting out. It's touching the old woven wire fence right there. And this was for the landlord sheep fence, so I think we'll go find a post and undo that, but don't want to cut somebody else's fence, but I think that'd probably be the easiest thing to do. So we'll find a white post and or some electrical tape and get her fixed up so we can turn the cows out. Thanks, guys. The cutoff switch, and I'm hoping this isn't poison ivy, but he's going to be here pretty soon. So just open that up. Now, if you put the tester on it, you'll see that this one's hot and this one's not. I can do that real quick so you guys can see it. And then there's you see those two connectors in there, and then there's metal in that handle, and it connects it all together and makes the top one hot too. So pretty sweet deal. I just put a couple on my fence. We're reading 9 kilovolts, 1.1 amps. So we went from 0.1 to 100 over there. You can see this one's dead. You can also see I've hit this before, this fence, when it was hot, so I want to make sure she's dead. Pushes in, that's cool. Anyway, hit these big fencers a few times. I think this one's only a 20 amp or 20 joule fencer, but the other one's like a 32, I think. It's the same one I got at home, and you don't want to hit them, which I like, because the animals don't like to try them again either. They hit them once and that's it. You get those little fencers and the animals are always testing it, making sure it's hot, because it doesn't burn them that bad. But for the most part, my cows, they don't ever hit these again, which is nice, because you want them to stay where you don't want them to stay on your side of the fence, not out in the road where they could do some serious damage or get injured. So want a good hot fence. Back over here, and again, if I had a insulated post metal piece on the end, I could just test it with that, but we got the fault finder, so she's dead. And it was popping. Oh, that one's definitely something I don't want to touch. He's got that post tied in right here to this fence to keep it from falling over. And I see he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 strand wire on the other side. So something's crossed over there. I don't have my pliers. I think we need to try to make this dude hot. So I'm gonna work on this and I'll get back to y'all here shortly. Get the itchy viney stuff out of the way so we can see here. And right here, this is a fiberglass post, so it's insulated. It's the insulator itself. You don't need any insulator running off of it or anything. And he's got this wrapped around. There's four hot wires for sheep going on the other side. And he's got the post anchored right here to this old woven wire fence to keep the sheep passing through right here. And what happened is this brace wire has connected to the hot wire. So we're just gonna shove that up and we should be good to go after that. Guys, this is the downside of running electric fence next to old fence. These things happen a lot. We got them disconnected. Also learned something on this Gallagher Fault Finder. That's shoved down out of the way. That little tip is for testing the testing at the fencer. You can stick that in your hot part, I think, or they've got videos of how to do it, but pretty nifty. I'm using it to test this too. It's a little bit easier, so we're gonna hook this up. Try not to get shocked, which I'm prone to doing. Okay, 6.8. We do have some amps. Had an ant on me. We do have some amps, but I don't think it's anything too extreme. Now it's 6.7, so we'll test it down the fence here a little ways and test the actual fence here. I think only every other one of these is hot. Gotta have the little tip clips on. Don't want to lose that. Okay, here we go. 5.7. That's very acceptable. It's running 6.6 kilovolts or volts. We usually, on the other cheaper fence testers we got, it just says volts, so that's probably what I'll stick with. It does say kV on there, but oh, we're running 65 now. I'll go check it on the other side, make sure we got our job done, but it's better than 100. Back on the other end of the fence, and this is the painful thing about running an electric fence. Sometimes you do, like I said, the worst thing is running it next to an old fence. So we're 7.4, 7.1, 5.5 kilovolts. Yeah, she's definitely hot. Got shocked off that branch there. That little piece of grass that's touched my finger, shocked me pretty good. She's hot. So I'd say we're good to go. Thanks, guys. We're reading 69 up there in that corner, 65, and then we had 5.5 over there. So I've come back to about in the middle here, and reading 66 amps. So that's a lot of amps. Let's figure out what the issue is, folks. So 63 over here. Ooh. We're just kind of watching this wire to see. I wonder if it's that tree, maybe. Let's plug in here. Learned my lesson getting shocked by that last twig. Mash all these down before I... Yep, 5.8 right there. Oh, here we go. Yep. 67, 66, 7.2. So it looks like this wire goes down into that ground right there and runs back on that sheep paddock over there again. I'm not sure why, but I'm pretty sure it's also tied onto that fence post. So tell you what, this is why I bought this Gallagher. It's a game changer as far as how much time it takes you. I walked right by this fence just a couple seconds ago, and I saw it, but I didn't really understand what was going on. And this fence checker led me right to it. That probably would have taken me a good 2 to 3 hours without this fault finder. So if you're running a lot of acres, or even if you're, just tight on time for $100, you figured $20 an hour is what your labor's worth. It's gonna pay for itself really fast. Just 4 hours, two of these trips just like this pay for itself. So I recommend them. Thanks, guys. We'll fix this and have the cows hot.